over here.
Can you hear me, Veronica?
Yes, I can. Thank you. Right? Yeah.
Okay, 6:01. We'll get started. Everybody can hear me okay? We'll get started with the December 8th, 6 p.m. Neighborhood Improvement Commission meeting via Zoom. So Jackie, can we get a roll call?
Hear me? I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that. Alex Miller,
Here.
Ramona Aleda Reed,
Here.
Ray Bennett,
Here.
Michelle LaBeouf,
Shonda's here.
Dennis Alexander,
Here.
Veronica Velasco,
Here.
Ray Riordan.
Okay, we have enough commissioners to move forward. We have a quorum tonight. And the next item on our agenda is item number 3. And that is to review our agenda for today. And if there are any items that arose that qualify to be placed on the agenda at this time, they can be done so now. Does anybody have anything to add?
No.
Okay, we will move on to item 4, public comment. And since we started utilizing our neighborhood improvement email from the city, I received one public comment, and I will read that out loud. And the comment is, hello, my name is Sterling Woodson, and I am an 8th grader at the International School of Monterey. For my 8th grade community service project, I am trying to do something similar to the design at Contra Costa and Sonoma Avenue. In my case, I want to convert 2 of the old tennis courts at Los Arbolos Park. Is there a way for me to find out more details on this project since it is alike? For example, MPUSD is responsible for the park. It involves fixing up an older asphalt service, and the goal is to put a basketball and likely pickleball or tetherball there. My site is 100 feet by 110 feet. I responded to the message and provided the information that the gentleman asked for. So I also tonight invited other commissioners. If there were other commissioners that wanted to come to our meeting, I provided them the code. So there is members of the public. Now is the time for public comment for anybody who is not on the commission. All right, hearing no public comment, then at this time we will move to item 5. And item 5 is approval of the minutes. I didn't see any minutes from our last meeting, so I don't believe there was any minutes. Is that right?
Have them for you this week, meetings.
Okay, then we will go ahead and put that on the next agenda, on our next meeting. So now we'll move on to item 6, business. And our first item of business today is Gloria, who's community development. And we are talking about the empty lot at the corner of Del Monte Boulevard and Broadway Avenue. You guys should be familiar with that lot. It is across the street from the Civic Center Plaza there with Buffalo Wild Wings and whatnot. Gloria approached me on this idea and we talked in her office. And now if she's ready, I can give her the time. I know she did say she wasn't feeling well, so we'll keep her to a short period. So Gloria, are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready. Would you like me to share the screen or do you want to do it, Alex?
If you don't mind, please, if you could, please.
I'll see if it works. Okay, no problem. Oh, I've got host disabled participant screen sharing.
Give me 1 second. I will fix
You
that.
don't get to move unless it's a 1 or 2, Veronica.
All right, while we're waiting, while we're having this technical difficulty, just to familiarize everybody, it's the spot, I call it Kitty Corner from Mi Tierra. So it's an empty lot bounded by Fremont, Broadway, and Santa Barbara. And I had an idea, rather than looking at the weed patch that we've all become accustomed to, I thought we should come up with a temporary use for that. Let's see, screen sharing is enabled. Yep. All right, here we go. All right, are you able to see that?
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you. So just to remind everybody, I thought we would come up with a temporary use for this because this lot right now, it has the potential for development in the future, but it doesn't have water currently. So a temporary use would be something nice until we are able to set meters again and have some development happen there. So I thought about what a temporary use might be for that area. And I thought of something like a town square. So I kind of think of it in my mind as an arts and cultural town square. So I'm just going to show you some character photos so you can kind of get the feel of what Alex and I had chatted about. So our next one is just to have some signs. And I thought showing people pictures of our various cultures and the history and how Seaside meshes. I think one of our strongest features is our multiculturalism. The diversity of Seaside is really something that we need to be proud of. Each different culture we have, we all just kind of knit together. We all just kind of get along. And I think having that, a space where we can all kind of celebrate our culture in an outdoor setting would be something kind of nice. So there's a variety of types of signs that you could get for something like this, and they come in different price points, of course. But I just wanted to show you a feel for what some of this could look like, what some of the signs could look like. These, of course, are the fancy pants signs. So depending on how much money we would raise for something like this, or we find for something like this. But then also having, I call it sort of like our hallway. So we kind of create a pergola effect outside. So I was thinking on the west end of that lot, we have a pergola, and then we have people walking through that pergola with our different signs and our different arts and culture displays. And I think it's also important to give people not just a feel of your history, but also a sense of inspiring them for the future. So I don't want it to be just our history, but I want people like the youth to be inspired and have spaces that change periodically so people have a reason to keep coming back. I envision something like putting down pavers on the surface. So you kind of get the feel from this picture of what it would look like to walk through a pergola on that space, and having some boards to look at that would be kind of reflecting Seaside, but then also having the pavers so we have a performing arts space. So we would have a spot for concerts or outdoor movies or things, because I think that corner of Broadway and Fremont is really kind of the heart of our city. And I think this is an opportunity to do something with that space. So the last picture just kind of, I just put some words on there just so you could kind of see, usually I scribble on them, but I didn't have time to scribble today. But I just wanted you to get an idea of putting the pergola on one end, putting some landscaping in, things that we could pick up and move to. So if that ever became a developed site, we could pick it up and move it to the next vacant lot that we have available. So we can kind of move our town square a little bit as needed. So I had put together this picture on the left, sort of summarizes all of the pictures in one space. And it's just really a way for us to kind of come together as a culture and a place for gathering, sort of establishing the heart of Seaside. So of course, the big question that I get asked first on this is how much does something like that cost? And right now the answer is, I don't know. We're in the early stages of this right now. I just want to see if people like the idea, if this is something you would want us to start looking at, and we could investigate different ways of raising money. We could look at different grants. We can talk to foundations and donors for things like this. I know that NIC has access to funds, but I know that you have things in mind too. So I just wanted to see if this is something that we put on for maybe our future hat, you know, and we put this out as something that we want to consider going forward. So with that, this ends my short presentation. If you have any questions, I'll answer as best I can. But again, it's just an introductory idea.
Great, thank you very much. Any commissioners at this moment have a question?
No questions, but I like the idea, and I don't really feel comfortable though about the movable town square. I don't know how costly that would be. Because the pictures were beautiful, but I don't know about movable.
Yeah, the way that I would envision it is the construction of the pergola. If you use the right kind of bolts, you can just crank those in and crank those out. So you can kind of move those. You want to make sure they're securely dug into the surface though. So it would be some doing. The pavers, again, if you've laid pavers before, you know that's not easy to move them around, but it's doable. So all of it really is something, the worst that would probably be would be anchoring our signs. So the signs would need to be anchored somehow so that way they wouldn't blow over because they have to withstand a certain miles per hour of wind and everything. So.
Right.
Thank you.
We can fine tune the design.
Shanda?
Shonda. No, I think it would be, I think that would be excellent. I think because, especially since that we know that it's probably not going to be permanent, and that might be something that's going to be used for later, that site, and we can just kind of move it for later. And as long as we can get the movable, you know, the I don't know what you call it, I can't think right now, the portability issue ironed out, I think we can kind of have like a free-flowing portable exhibit going throughout the city. You know, when we can come across a space that needs to be utilized and we need to fix up, but we don't really have the time or the money right now. I'm just, that sounds kind of cool right now.
Thank you. Ray?
Gloria, does the city own that property now?
No, the city does not, but the bank that owns it would probably welcome a discussion for a ground lease with us. So I'm hoping that if we talk to them about it, we could get that a song is what I'm hoping for.
I love the idea of doing something with that lot. It's just kind of ugly right now, and for the city to do something with it to make it useful and attractive would really help the city of Seaside. I think it's a great idea.
Alex, if I may.
Dennis, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Oh, but by the way, I just got home from work, so I'm eating dinner. That's why I'm not on video, but I'm here. Gloria, great idea. I think it's always been a, you know, Seaside. One thing we have that many other areas on the peninsula don't have as much as we do, at least, is that multiculturalism, which I think is a good idea. We don't have to come to a discussion or even conclusion tonight, but it sounds like there may be some valuable things that would go in that spot, even if it is temporary. So just in the future, we need to also consider security for these items, these art items.
Was there any other commissioner comments?
Can I just add one? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I think it's a very good idea. I was just curious as to how long we would have that lease. I mean, put all that money into it. I mean, I know it all depends on who owns it, but just that would be my only concern, putting all that money and then not having it for at least a year. So that's pretty much it. But everything, I think it's a great idea. I like it.
Oh, it would be more than a year. Yeah. So yeah, it would be a few years at least. And I think even when we start discussing a lease, usually you discuss the terms of it. So I think that would be what we would build into looking at the finances of it. Not only what would it cost for the materials, but also what would the lease aspect cost us and how long would we have it for? So these are all good points, plus addressing, like Dennis mentioned, the security aspect as well.
Question.
Yes.
Two questions actually.
Yes.
What's the square footage and do we know the bank that owns the lot, excuse me?
We don't have the square footage yet. I was hoping that somebody might offer to help me because we can grab a measuring wheel from engineering and we can do that. So that was the question I forgot to ask tonight is there anybody who would be interested in helping me gather some of this information and working with just gathering the initial information to get a cost on it? And sorry, what was your second question?
Do we know the bank that owns the lot?
Yep, we do, and I have their contact information. Yeah.
Question. I didn't hear you about the bank. You said it. Can you hear me okay? Okay.
Yep.
I'm getting an echo. The bank, it's bank owned. So would it be possible that it's a shared cost with the bank? I mean, they say, oh, they'd be interested in us doing that work for them, but would they be interested in sharing the cost or some of the cost?
I haven't approached the bank about this idea yet. I wanted to make sure that this was something that Seaside was interested in. You know, this is just something that I had as like a crazy idea, and you're the first group I'm talking to about this.
Yeah,
So
I understand that, but do you think that the bank would be willing to do that since they're kind of would be happy to see us improve it? Do you think, in your experience, do you think they would share some of the monies?
I'm going to say this politely. They don't seem to be willing to even mow their lot lately. So not going to hold out a lot of hope for them being willing to invest in it. We can certainly ask, but I think it would be easier to find others who might wish to invest in our city rather than them.
Thank you.
Okay.
I can help you.
Gloria, if you need somebody to help you with the square footage, I'm volunteering my husband. He does that sort of thing. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Derek is great with that sort of thing.
And Gloria, I'm free on Fridays for the most part. I do food delivery with the Ohlmeyer Center in the mornings, but you know, if you need help, I can help as well.
I appreciate that. I might have just a few little tasks, but if we all work together, it makes it go a lot faster. So thank you. Thank you, all of you.
No problem.
Any other comments? So at this time, we can, I'll entertain a motion. Somebody wants to make a motion on how we proceed. We can recommend to the city council to explore getting into a lease agreement with the bank, or we can table this to another time. So I will entertain a motion.
I so move that we enter into a lease agreement with the bank to.
This is only just to recommend to the city council. So to recommend to the city council that we.
And then I so move that we recommend to the city council that we enter into a lease agreement with the bank to approve to go into negotiations to make some sort of improvements to this lot for the betterment of Seaside.
I'll second that.
Okay, any public comment? So the motion is to recommend to the city council that we explore the options of getting into a lease agreement with the bank. So Jackie, can we do a roll call vote, please? Sorry, there's one more.
We
There's
don't
one
have
hand.
any can we discuss it before, can we discuss the motion before we vote on it?
Go ahead.
Okay, well, we may be jumping the gun here. Gloria, you tell me, are we just exploring ideas and we'll approach the bank later? Is the motion ahead of its time, so to speak?
It's not my position to state that, but if I were, I would be more comfortable personally getting more information before we went to council with the recommendation. They're going to want to know the detailed information. I think it's a good time for us to be exploring things like that, especially as we start looking at our mid-year budgets. So I think if we just get more information and then we go to council, that might be a better strategy. So I think those of you who volunteered to help, maybe we start gathering the information and flesh it out.
Yeah, we should have all our ducks in a row before we go make our recommendations, right?
Also, we'd need the lease cost, because that would be to the city every year. So we'd need how much would they charge us for beautifying their lot? I think that would be important for the city to know. Okay, we're gonna pay X amount of dollars every year for a lot that's. So I think probably Gloria, I guess you would be able to ask the bank that question.
So
Can we vote on this motion and defeat it so we can discuss further what the proper route would be? If I would be in favor of Alex
I'll withdraw the motion.
I would be in favor of Alex appointing a commission subcommittee to work with Gloria if she so desires to come up with ideas.
How many subcommittees do we have going though? There's only so many of us.
we have 2 going right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's too soon to draw up a subcommittee. I think we need to hash it out a little bit. Maybe we can table this for next time. And then, because I don't know how long it would take. And from our experience, it sounds as though it'd be another year before this takes off.
I don't think it'll take that long, really, Ramona.
Hope not.
I don't think that. I can withdraw the motion.
Well, there was already a second, so we're going to do a roll call vote on that, and then we can make another motion. That's what I think you procedurally have to do. So unless somebody wants to make a sub motion.
I'll make a sub motion that we withdraw, that we withdraw the motion in a second and then we talk about this more and see what, just explore more.
I second that sub motion if it needs a second.
Okay. So any public comment on that sub motion? And then Jackie will do a roll call vote, please.
Just to be clear, we're voting on the sub motion now? Or
Yes.
are we voting on the
Yes.
original
We're
motion?
voting on the sub motion.
Okay.
Alex Miller,
Aye.
Ramona Oleda Reed,
Aye.
Ray Bennett,
Aye.
Dennis Alexander,
Aye.
Shonda LaBeouf,
Aye.
Veronica Velasco.
Aye.
Okay, that moves forward unanimously. Thank you, Gloria, for the presentation. We're going to move forward with this project on our next scheduled meeting. So thank you, Gloria. Next, we will move on to item B. And this has been on our agenda before. This is the discussion with the fire chief regarding painting the fire station. And before we hear the presentation, I just wanted to take a brief second and thank the chief. He is retiring at the end of the month, and he's been a fantastic chief for Seaside. We can always count on him. And he's just been such an icon for all the people here in Seaside. So thank you, Chief. And hopefully you're ready for your presentation.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. But don't presentation for you. I think I would just like to bring you up to date on the discussions that Alex and I have had. And I don't know if you've had discussions at the commission level. But so sometime in the summer, Alex, you approached me about NIC having some interest in partnering with the city to give the fire station a refresh or a new look or a coat of paint. And I think so. The history of this has been the last two paint projects that have occurred on the fire station have been done by the CAL FIRE inmate program. So those are the crews that go out and help fight the fires during the summer. And then when it's off season or out of fire season, they will do projects within the communities at a very, very low rate. I think the last time we had it done, we got a crew of 13 for about $250 a day. And they worked for a week and a half, 2 weeks on this project. The downside to that is we aren't necessarily getting people that specialize in that field. So the areas that we've had some blight on the building weren't necessarily treated how they should be. And so they really just went over those areas as well as the rest of the building, held up for a few years and then started to deteriorate again. And that's what you're looking at now. Once the discussions occurred with Alex, I had contacted Dave Fortune, our Public Works Direct Superintendent, and we contacted some contractors to see how we could go about doing a project and having it last for a period of time. And so the first contractor we met with was a contractor that would specialize in the texture or what would look like stucco. And their recommendation was to have the parts that were peeling off tested. So the next step was take it to a lab or have a lab come out and take some samples. And it was determined that that texture does have some asbestos in it. So there were a couple of ways to mediate or mitigate that. And one would be to remove anything that's sloughing off and then sand the edges. Somewhat of an expensive project. And the second one, even more expensive, but probably what should really be done is to remove and sandblast the entire building. So we continued with some estimates. We continued with a hazardous materials company to remove the asbestos. We asked the person that specializes in the texture to give us some very general bids, and we asked a painting contractor to give us some very general bids. So although we have a few options, I think for myself, the best option would be to sandblast the building, to remove all the old texture, pressure wash, apply one coat of texture, and then repaint. And again, these are very rough estimates because of the cost of doing a large project like that. It really needs to go out by law as a public works bid. And so Dave Fortune's rough estimate is anywhere between $120,000 and $165,000. We went ahead and shared this information with his boss, Nisha at engineering, and with the city manager, and had some general discussion at our executive team meeting. And based on what's going on with the economy right now and what we've asked employees to do, it was thought that we should wait till mid-year budget review and look at what dollars may be available on the city side. And that could give you a better estimate on what's available from the city for a contribution you want to make at NIC. And that's pretty much as far as I've gotten with the project. We got stalled a little bit, I think, because of the effects of COVID and the economy.
Thank you very much, Chief. Was there any commissioner questions?
Is there a probability that we can get this, Ramona speaking? You'd mentioned that the CAL FIRE or prisoners, I don't know what the word is, what they use. Is there a probability of using those two organizations again, or not because of the asbestos?
I think because of the asbestos, number one, and because we've used them twice in the past and it really isn't their expertise, we're just going to end up with the same issue a few years down the road. So I wouldn't recommend that.
Thank you.
I've got a comment, if I may.
Yes, please, Dennis.
Thank you, Chief. Also on that point that Ramona just brought up, I don't know if it's happening around here, but I've read that in large parts of California, the inmate crews who are normally behind bars for nonviolent nature are no longer there and serving their sentence in other ways, so they may not even be available, if I understand that correctly.
Yeah, I think you may be right.
But I'm sorry, I'm going to continue on. But Chief, I think mid-year budget review, waiting until then to see what the city can help with would be a great idea. It's we just don't know, and the economy doesn't look like it's going to be getting any better, any quicker. So I love the idea, but I think it might be a good idea to wait a little longer.
Ray?
Yeah, Chief, thank you for the presentation. It just occurred to me, removing all the paint and sandblasting the whole building is very costly. What if we just, instead of redoing the paint, put a facade on, some kind of maybe vinyl siding on the larger areas, and then repaint just the areas that are can be easily reached to paint. Just occurred to me, we could just cover the whole thing up with a vinyl siding or some kind of siding. Any thoughts on that?
We didn't look at that aspect, and we could certainly. I'll talk with Dave Fortune. One of his other options was to apply a stucco paper with a new stucco coat and paint over the current the current finish. And what that will do is it will seal up any of the asbestos and give a whole fresh new look to it. His estimate or cost on that was about $105,000 to $135,000. I wouldn't dream to think about what the cost may be for an idea such as siding or some other material, but we will look into that. One of our problems is it's a unique structure, so those pillars that come down in the front, those are the areas that seem to have the worst damage as the paint kind of sloughs off, and I don't know if it's that there's moisture getting in behind and then it's pushing out through the concrete. I don't know if the structure itself wasn't sealed initially. So those seem to be the areas that give us that trouble, and it looks the worst because that's where generally their eye goes is to those apparatus bay doors, and those where those columns are. But we'll look into some other options, certainly.
Anybody else? And Chief, when we had all of the fires in Northern California, when there was the Santa Clara fire and in Carmel fire, did we participate in those?
Yes, we participated in county on both the river and the Carmel fire.
Mm-hmm. And since the fire department is right in the neighborhood on Yosemite and Broadway, it would be a good thing for this neighborhood to, spruce up the fire department a little bit.
Sure. And as the fire chief, I really appreciate you even looking at this as a project. I think that's a wonderful idea, and certainly I'm all for it.
Great. Yeah, great. We are too. Was there any other comments from commissioners? So we're not taking any action on this. I guess we're just going to wait until we come back on this and hear after the mid-year budget. Is that right? When does that happen?
That generally, it's in the February timeframe. It gives the finance department a bit of time to balance the books for the first 6 months.
Okay. So if any commissioner wants to make, we're okay with not having a motion on this unless somebody wants to make an action. Unless you guys want to just bring this back when we have our next meeting after the mid-year budget. How does the commission wish to proceed?
I'd like to bring it back. Bring it back during budget time.
Okay. So we'll add that to our future agenda. So next, thank you very much, Fire Chief. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you for all your hard work and volunteering, taking your own time.
Yes.
Have a great evening.
Thank you for everything that you've done.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, thank you, Chief.
Enjoy your retirement. Thank you. So next we will move on to item C, and that is consideration of the 2020 House of the Month, fourth quarter. And I didn't realize that we didn't actually design a House of the Month map yet. Since we are meeting quarterly now, we have to come up with a system with how we're going to judge houses of the quarter. So we haven't done that. So in this topic, we can discuss that, or we can move on to item D. So it's up to you guys.
I thought we did discuss it last meeting. I have to look at the notes again, but I thought we did discuss it, but we didn't come up with determine how we're going to do this by quarter, or still go by monthly. So I don't remember. I'm sorry.
We decided last time that we were just going to we were going to have a House of the Month in the quarter, but we did not decide who was going to do the next quarter, this quarter. We did not decide who was going to do it or how we were going to administer this. So we can talk about that now, or we can talk about that at our next meeting for next year. So
We do next year at the next meeting, because I think we're just sort of like, I don't know. I'm lost, but then that wouldn't be the first time.
Well, we should probably
Join the club.
But yeah, I don't remember.
Well, we might run into the same problem where next time we're also not going to have entries for House of the Month. So do we
have any entries?
Well, what has happened in the past historically is that the commission has broken up the cities into 12 sections.
Right.
But now that we only meet every quarter, we haven't broken up the city into one quarter. So we could do that now and assign somebody for our next meeting, House of the Month, or we can just do that at our next meeting.
Oh, we haven't. That's right. We haven't done our broken up our areas yet.
Right.
Well, I've been gone, so that's my excuse.
Do we have any idea if we're going to continue? Go ahead. Do we have any idea if we're going to continue, if the commission will continue meeting 3 or 4 times quarterly rather than monthly after the COVID pandemic is over?
We don't know when it's over, right?
Let's plan on the commission meeting quarterly for now. It's probably going to be a while before that changes, since that was amended in the charter, in the rules of the city. So we are going to meet quarterly because the city passed a resolution on that. So I would not expect that to change anytime soon. It's less stress on staff, and it's more economical for our city budget to meet quarterly. That was the decision. So I do think that we're going to proceed meeting quarterly, Ray. Ramona?
I think we should just get someone assigned quickly for this next month. So we'll have a House of the Month when we meet the next time around, and then if you can work, I can work up a table, pinning everyone down to each month if you'd like. But I think we need to assign someone now, and I can volunteer to do that. I don't mind. Whatever that is.
Well, if we take the map of Seaside and we kind of go in half of it, it would be Noche Buena and Broadway. If everybody can kind of see this, if we did here and broke up the city between Noche Buena and Broadway and called each section 1, 2, 3, 4, then we could pick a house in that section. That would be an option to break up the city only into quarters. Or another option would be just to do an at-large house of the month, meaning that commissioners, when they're driving by, can just take notes on what house is nice, send it to Jackie, and then when Jackie gets it for our meeting, we can tabulate it. So
No, that too many houses would get missed that way.
right.
Because some people don't drive anywhere near, say, section 4 at all,
Right.
So why don't we do quarters again,
Mhm.
section it off in quarters and then assign, how many of us are on here? 6 of
There's
us?
7.
7?
Yes.
Well, then that's enough for us to divvy it up then.
Yeah.
Well, what we could do is that 2 commissioners accumulate houses in that section per
Right.
that way, and then the chair doesn't have to do anything. That sounds good to me.
I like how you did that.
Because it would be 8 people and there's only 7 of us. So okay, so do we want to break it up in between Broadway and Noche Buena, or Broadway and what's above Noche Buena?
Yosemite?
Yeah, Yosemite.
Yeah, because then then that would give an extra Yosemite, then that would be more. You got that back part over up against Upper Seaside in the back over there, or are you talking?
Or
Yeah,
Yeah.
and over on that other side too, towards Delray Oaks and east, either way, east, north and south on either side of General Jim Moore, you've got that part, so it'll divide it up equally. That upper part, along the back gate, that fence line.
How about something like this? Everybody can see this.
Nice.
1,
there you go.
2,
Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Perfect.
Does
Perfect.
that work?
That works.
So,
Works.
Why is one bigger? No, just kidding.
we're never going to get it exactly even. So then
That's right. That's nice.
we would want to decide the 2 commissioners who are going to participate in the first section house of the month for
Where's
Jan.
that?
What was that?
I'll
Where
do
is it?
first.
Okay. Ramona.
House of the month,
Ramona,
or house of the quarter, no.
House of the Quarter.
House of the quarter.
Do it. I'll participate in that.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Okay. So we'll proceed with this section first, this first section, and we'll have you 2 and you guys will each pick 3 to 4 entries, submit them to Jackie before our next meeting, and that will be the first quarter house of the month for 2021.
All right. Can you send me or send out everyone what at least the first section that we're going to do? Can you tell me what that encompasses?
I will.
From Del Monte to wherever.
I will.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
was there any other commissioner? Go ahead, Veronica. You have to take your thing off mute.
Did a second
You
person
want to make-
volunteer?
So I was gonna volunteer and it was me and Ramona, correct?
Yes, and we'll have Dennis for the second quarter. Okay, Dennis?
I'll do the second quarter.
Okay, so Dennis and Shonda for the second quarter.
Just tell me where it is.
Okay. So was there any other commissioner comments on that? Any public comment? So, well, I'll entertain a motion to adopt that policy or adopt that.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
First by Commissioner Alexander, second by Commissioner Bennett. Any public comment? And Jackie, roll call vote, please.
Alexander Miller,
Yes.
Ramona Leda Reed,
Aye.
Ray Bennett,
Yes.
Dennis Alexander,
Yes.
Shonda LaBeouf,
Here, yes.
Veronica Velasco.
Yes.
All right. Now we will move, that passes unanimously. So now we will move on to item D, which is consideration of the business of the quarter, the fourth quarter. That is a business that could be up and coming, a new business, a renovated business. Usually what happens when we do this is I ask for nominations and then we take the nominations and dwindle it down. I know that there's a few businesses in and around Seaside, and also we could also award a business who have been especially COVID compliant or has had to deal with the COVID. I think it's very nice to give somebody a business of the quarter because right now our small businesses are struggling. So I'll open up the floor for nominations. Whoever has a nomination, I'll keep track of the nominations here.
I know one that's been very COVID safe, but it might be a conflict of interest for me to nominate it.
That's not fair.
I know one. But yeah, you go first, Dennis.
I work there, so that'd be a conflict of interest, I think.
I know another one.
Top of my head, I can't think of it. I'd have to think more.
Well, didn't last quarter we award it to Other Brothers? And then I think Veronica mentioned that liquor store on Noche Buena and Broadway, and we were kind of going back and forth. So if no one else nominates anything, maybe that Seaside Liquor Store is about time we
I
them
have
up on the
a
board.
I have a nomination.
Okay.
Urban Leaf. Hey, they're
I know what Dennis's vote's going to be already.
Hey, I don't shop at the other one, but I know the one I shop at is very compliant. I've never been to Dennis's.
Plan to see it. Come on by.
You work at the one by my house? Is that the one you work at? The Reef or whatever?
One in Round Table Pizza, Fantasia.
Oh, I've never been to that one. No. I didn't know. Where is it?
1717 Fremont.
Oh, no, I haven't been there. Yeah.
Any other nominations?
Oh.
Isn't there a couple of new businesses over by like the hemp?
A flower shop.
There's a
Flower shop there.
there's some new businesses. Anybody can think of any new businesses in Seaside?
What's just on the street from you in the plaza? It's changed hands, but it looks like it's a restaurant now. It's right next. I can't think of the name, but it looks new. I didn't see it before. Right in the corner, across the street from. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's in the same plaza as the Breakfast Club, just on the corner.
Oh, yeah. Little Japanese restaurant,
I
Wakatobia?
think that might be it, yeah. Are they new or somewhat new?
Yeah, somewhat.
Because I drove by last night, it looked really nice. They had a, it looked like a really nice place.
Yeah. Morisco's too. I know it's not new, but they sure are looking nice.
Yeah.
You know, when you go down Broadway, their little outdoor place looks really nice now. They
That was
really
the-
did put a lot of money into that and work.
Okay, so I have the liquor store, Urban Leaf. I think it's Wastobia and Moriscos. Any other nominations?
You know, what the hell? It doesn't benefit me individually. I'm going to nominate Plantasia.
Plantasia. Okay, how we've done this in the past is just we have a good list here. We have 6, so we tried to narrow it down. Maybe we can narrow it down to 4, or any other suggestions that a commissioner might have. So considering that we are in the COVID era now, do we want to consider that in our decision here? Or how would you guys like to proceed on picking a winner between these 6?
Hmm.
You know, Alex, one thing that we, as you said, considering COVID, maybe consider businesses that have gone above and beyond and still trying to service the public and giving it time. And I don't know how any of these have done that, other than beyond what they were doing before. But if anybody knows of any of them, that might be a thing to consider.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. So the 6 nominations that we have are, 5 nominations that we have are the liquor store, Urban Leaf, Wastobia, Moriscos, and Plantasia. So why don't we start through the list, ask everybody to pick 2, and then let's see if we can narrow it down that way. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
Right. So I'll just go down the list of commissioners. Ray?
Seaside Liquor and Morisco's.
Ramona?
Seaside Liquors in Wakatobia.
Veronica?
It's on mute.
Seaside Liquors and
I missed the last one, sorry.
Moriscos, the Mexican restaurant or whatever.
That's not my house.
Alex, if I may,
Yes, please.
my notes showed that the last meeting, we awarded 2 businesses for the third
Oh.
quarter, which was Seaside Liquor and Other Brother Beer.
So ha 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 ha.
I just because everybody's mentioning Seaside Liquor, but my notes do show that we chose
Yeah.
2 because I thought we were going to assign one for the 4th, but you guys decided to award 2 for the third quarter.
So there.
You're right.
I'm sorry.
No, thank you, Jackie.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Jack.
Lero's
Refresh my
That's
memory
good.
too. Thank you.
So do it all over. But
It would have helped if I got you the minutes. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
right. She is right.
Yeah.
We're really only down to Plantasia, Urban Leaf, Wastobia, and Moriscos. Is there any other nomination there?
Sushi time.
Sushi time.
They're good.
Do they have outdoor seating for COVID?
No, it's just takeout.
Takeout. Okay. So we'll just do that again, and we'll take out the liquor store. Sorry about that. Good calling, Jackie. Let's go with Ray.
Ray.
Morisco is
Raymond.
really the only one that I've have any dealings with.
Yes, we ought to try that place, isn't it?
The one,
Ray, you don't go
I'm
to-
just going to say that one, Morisco's.
Riscos. Okay, thank you. Ramona?
Wakatobia and Morisco's.
Okay. Dennis?
Fantasia and Wakatobia.
And Veronica?
Marisco's and the Urban Leaf.
Yes, Veronica.
And Shonda?
Urban Leaf and Sushi Time.
And I'm gonna say Morisco's and I'm gonna say Wastobia. So the final result on that was Plantasaria 1 vote, Urban Leaf 2 votes, Wastobia 3 votes, 4 votes for Morisco's, and 1 vote for Sushi Time. So the
Sounds
one that's the 1 vote, the Sushi Time, we could take out, and the Plantasaria, I think we could also take out with the 1 vote. That leaves us down to Urban Leaf, Wastopia, and Morisco's. Sorry, Dennis.
Democracy always wins out.
The biggest vote,
Latentia gets on mention.
yes.
Mention. There's just a mention.
Okay, so we can award the top vote getter, Morisco's, the the business of the quarter, and with a special emphasis on their COVID compliant patio and their ability to adapt to the COVID period. That would be my preference, but we could also award 2 like we did last month, but it takes away from the business of the quarter. Then we'd have to change it to businesses of the quarter. I think I would prefer to stick with 1 business, but it's at the will of the commission.
No, I agree with you, Alex.
Okay,
I think the reason we did 2 last time was because we missed 1
Right.
since we didn't have meetings.
exactly.
Very good.
Okay. So need a motion or more discussion?
I'll make a motion that we award Risco's business of the quarter.
Second,
Okay, any public comment? Seeing none, Jackie would do the roll call vote, please.
Alexander Miller,
Yes.
Ramona Leda Reed,
Yes.
Ray Bennett,
aye.
Dennis Alexander,
Aye.
Shonda LaBeouf,
Aye.
Veronica Velasco.
Aye.
Okay, and I will make a motion also to, in case they have been awarded it before, we do run into that problem, then I will make a motion that we have the substitute in the case of Morisco's, there becomes an issue with that Wastobia, the Japanese grill,
Toba.
will be a runner-up. They're not a winner unless Morisco's we've already awarded them or something. So I will make that motion.
It's Wakatoba.
Is there a second?
The
Second.
second. Oh, third it then.
Okay, sorry, Jackie, one more time.
Alexander Miller,
Aye.
Ramona Leda Reed,
Aye.
Ray Bennett, Dennis Alexander,
Yes.
Shonda LaBeouf,
Aye.
Veronica Velasco.
Aye.
Okay, that passes unanimously. Thank you. Next, we will move on to item E, and that is discussion regarding the 2020 holiday decorating contest. And for newer commissioners, what has happened in the past for the last couple of years is that we have had an application form. People have filled out the application, and then we picked a date, got in a van, and drove around the city and viewed their homes. That is not happening this year because of COVID. I do not think that is appropriate for us all to be in a van together. And I would never do that during this time. So we are not doing a van together. And so the options are, now that we have an email address, we can ask people to submit a video or a photo of their entry, or we can scratch the contest altogether this year, or we can do something other that the commission wants to do. I have noticed that other cities do have holiday contests and they're having people send in pictures. So we could have everybody send in pictures, but then we'd have to figure out a way that we're going to judge the pictures in an open form. So I'm now going to leave it to the commission to kind of decide what you guys want to do, but it is a tradition of the NIC every year to host a holiday contest. And we usually do most decorated or something like that. So please share your thoughts on that.
Alex,
Jingle jangle.
Dennis?
I think we need to keep it going. You know, we can't let COVID defeat everything that we or any other commission does. You know, we got to find a way to get through it. So, you know, having the entrance send in the pictures or the videos, and you know, an open forum, as long as we're safe, we do it outside in the city hall parking lot, and somehow just, you know, pass the photos around. Just be safe, bring chairs, keep 6 feet apart, wear our masks. You know, an outdoor forum, taking all precautions.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Was there any other suggestions?
Yeah, I think we should continue on as well. And I like Dennis's comments. However, I don't think we should have any labels this time. We should just have 3 or 4 winners and that's it. You know, winner 1, winner 2, winner 3. I think before we used to go most creative, most beautiful, most whatever. And it was kind of hard to do it that way. So I just, with no labels, just 3 winners, or how many winners that we've determined will be good for this season.
Yeah, I agree. And even for one that's like, oh, honey, you really tried. We should have a winner like that, because everybody, we just need some happiness. I'm so tired. I need a hug. You know, I just need some happiness and some warmth and some joy in my life right now. And I think what Dennis said is really, we can do this. We need this in our lives right now. I need to smile. I don't know about y'all, but I need a smile. But yeah, Ramona, yeah, winner 1, winner 2, winner 3, and oh, honey, you really tried.
Thank you. Was there anybody else, Ray? Ramona? You already talked, Veronica? Did you have any comment, Veronica?
I agree. Let's just keep it going, and I agree with what's going on with that. You gotta keep.
Okay, so do you guys want to then have contestants? We'll ask Leslie to put it on the social media and have contestants. We'll start the contest maybe this Friday, the 11th, and then we go until the 22nd or the, you know, December 22nd, and we could gather in the parking lot on the 22nd at 4 o'clock for a, you know, a brief looking at the contestants. Or I'm not sure, Jackie or David, maybe you guys, we can do an online. Can we do an online judging, or does it need to be in a public forum? Yes, David, please.
So one thing that I was going to mention, I don't see my, oh, there we go. Okay, it looks like sound's coming.
Hello.
So one thing I was going to mention is, you know, our recreation department does a holiday decoration. Now, I'm not suggesting that this become the NIC plan, but they do a holiday decoration thing where people can post it on Facebook or Instagram, and they put a hashtag Seaside Holiday House, and they just give away swag. You know, the recreation department has all kinds of little goodies that have, I mean, so it's not a monetary award like NIC does, but they give away, license plate frames that say Seaside and little, keychains and different things like that. It might not be a bad idea just to get people to really participate and possibly even look at the houses that are coming out on the hashtag Seaside Holiday House for consideration too. That was my only thought on that.
Thank you. I actually did not know that. Thank you.
Ooh, double crossing.
So am I understanding this right, Mr. Little, that in lieu of a cash prize, give the swags out?
No.
Not
Swag
in
or-
lieu of a cash prize, but people that might not receive a cash prize could still have an opportunity to get a prize
Yeah.
or get something, and it might help to encourage more participation. That was my only thought.
Gotcha. Very good. Thank you. I like that.
Okay. Okay, that sounds cool.
David, what are some examples of swag that a homeowner would get?
Pardon me?
What are some examples of the swag that we would be considering?
So we'd have to talk to Dan Mewis over in the rec department, but they have little goodies and things like that they give away. They're more like they're just things that say City of Seaside. They're inexpensive prizes type of items that they give away.
So we could give them something that they're not giving, that the rec wouldn't be giving, or could we do that?
Yeah, we would
This is a
still
swag
say,
item.
Yeah, I understand what swag is, but I don't want our swag to, if we were to do.
NIC does not give away swag. NIC gives away
Money.
a cash prize.
Right.
And
okay.
But in considering this, there have been times when we've had to say, people didn't win. They didn't win a cash prize. And so my thought is they could still participate and they would still get something because it's rec department's already doing this contest. This is a contest they do every year. And Dan was sharing with me that they don't often get a lot of participation because, people are, for some reason they just don't. And so almost everybody that participates gets a prize.
Right. Okay. Okay. So we could give, I understand, I think.
So we could, NIC could put out on social media, advertise the holiday decoration contest the way that it's done, and just simply say, instead of sending them to an email address, you can just say hashtag Seaside Holiday House, and that would get, and it could even have some kind of a combination with the language that Dan uses for his contest, that everybody gets a prize that participates. Every Seaside house, gets something type of thing.
We could use our language, but then hashtag Seaside Holiday House.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. But if 3 winners will be chosen for the cash prize, but then, or some combination, and then.
So I'm going to step out of this conversation and.
I understand what you're saying, but
where to go.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. We'll talk to Alex. We'll figure that out. But I understand what you're saying. Thank you. Hashtag holiday house. Okay, got it.
Okay, so I actually have never heard this. I didn't know that the recreation department did that. We could, it is an option to work with the recreation department on this and do a joint contest, we could incorporate the hashtag Seaside Holiday House and then vote on the people who actually did that, who put Seaside Holiday House. That's an option. Or any other options that people, that commissioners see?
No, I like it. 3 winners and then the rest get these little Seaside, City of Seaside gifts.
But
And go
the
about
thing
it.
is, we're back to our, how are we going to view these things? Isn't that what you were originally asking, Alex?
Well, what I'm really asking right now is how we want to have the, how we want to operate the contest. Do we want to operate the contest by ourselves and have people send an email, or do we want to have people use the hashtag like Mr. Little suggested? What do you think is going to get the most amount of participation into our contest?
Well, if we can piggyback on the holiday house, what do you, if that's already, holy moly, because that'll
Maybe we
get,
should join.
what do you think, Ramona?
I was thinking maybe we should team up with them.
Yeah,
I know we're separate, but maybe because of all this is going on, maybe we should just team up.
right.
So,
That's what I was thinking. Veronica? Where'd you go?
Veronica.
Sorry, I'm still trying to get over a cold that I have. I'm burning up over here. I think, sorry, I'm just kind of out of it right now. Pretty much what Ramona had said. I just think that teaming up and just going, keep going with it. I just agree with that, teaming up and not, continue with the prize.
Yeah, the prize money, and then but still teaming up with the holiday house thingy.
Yes. My only concern was how we were gonna, rate everything. Are we gonna do it online? Are we gonna go out?
Right. That's, yeah.
Alex mentioned something about on the 22nd I can't go like on I work and during that time of the hour. I'm not sure how we were gonna do that. So that was my only concern.
Right. Ray, Dennis. Ray. Hello,
Okay.
Ray.
Ray?
Somebody calling my name?
Yeah. As you stand against the dunes.
Yeah. This is a tough one.
Isn't it?
I would think that we would do our own myself, but it seems like working with them, are we going to have prizes in addition to their prizes, or how would that work?
We're still, Alex, you want to say?
Yeah, they, as David just said, very few houses enter, and we only get, last year we got 7 entries or something like that. So
yeah,
we had a very small number of entries. So truthfully, I personally think, maybe teaming up with Dan would result in more people submitting a hashtag.
Okay, so we would take entries that we get as well as the ones that they get.
Well, they would get their swag from Dan, and then the NIC would then also issue them an award, and we would give them an award with a gift certificate or a financial prize.
Okay, they would take pictures of their house and send them to us. Is that correct?
Well, that would be the procedure that we're trying to work out. It could be a hashtag on social media, like Mr. Little just said, or it could be they submit it to us. But I don't believe we would get very many submissions to us.
Yeah, so we're piggybacking off of their hashtag, hoping that we'll share each other. They'll share ours and we'll share theirs, but they'll get swag. Everybody gets swag, but there's only going to be 3 prize winners, 3 cash prize winners either way, right, Alex? There's only going to be our 3 cash prize winners.
This is up to the commission.
Yeah, there's only going to be winner 1, winner 2, winner 3, the best houses.
That's what we could do. Yes.
Yeah, there's only going to be winner 1, winner 2, but everybody who enters is gonna walk away with some swag, like, you know, their little goodie bags
From the rec department.
from the rec department.
Yes.
That's from what I understand. That's how I understand it.
That's correct.
So my thought was the hashtag Seaside Holiday House would just be another means for people to enter the contest. And so, in other words, somebody can post it on City of Seaside's Facebook, and they just put hashtag Holiday House, and you'll be able to see every photograph that's becomes part of the entry. It's not necessarily like Dan's going to have his own contest, and they're just simply promoting this as a holiday house decoration contest. Just submit a picture of your house, put hashtag Seaside Holiday House, and that's all they're doing. And my thought was that NIC could simply use that vehicle, because we need some kind of a vehicle because we're doing it a little bit differently. So my thought was, this is just simply a resource that we could utilize.
Right.
And I don't know that we would say everybody gets some swag. I don't even really know what swag was until I talked to Dan, and he was using that term swag. But his whole point is that they don't get a lot of entries, and he was concerned about competing with NIC. He says, he just thought, hey, this is what the rec department does every year. And, they don't usually get a lot of entries. That's all. But we could put that on the Seaside's. We could even put, NIC, Neighborhood Improvement Commission asks that you submit your decorations, your decorated house to hashtag Seaside Holiday House, and these will be judged, and 3 winners will receive whatever the monetary prize is.
Whatever's the simplest.
People can do it on Instagram too, I think. They can just do something on Instagram, post a picture of their house on Instagram, push hashtag Seaside Holiday House, boom. We'd put that in, and we'd be able to see every house, the picture that comes up with that hashtag. That's how that works.
Okay.
It also gives the people an opportunity to share things through social media, which I don't think we've been really doing.
Okay, so our contest then could include hashtag photographs and photographs submitted to the NIC through other means. If I understand that correctly. And then we take those and we can judge those, and how we judge those, I'm not sure. Any suggestions? One thing we could do is we could ask the city, either Jackie or David, to send out maybe the pictures, and we can all vote on them electronically and come up with a winner. But I'm worried about not allowing public comment. So, or do we want to award the winner at our January meeting? We can do that as well, or our next meeting, or we can award the winner or call a quick special meeting, either virtually or otherwise. I don't think we can have a meeting. I'm not sure if we can have a meeting in City Hall parking lot. I think we might have to do it virtually. So, but I don't want to put too much stress on us having another meeting. So do you guys want to possibly select the winner in January?
I think so, Christmas and all, and I think just do it for January. I mean, there's no rush to have it that same month. That's my opinion.
I agree. January is a good time to do it.
So we will run our contest from let's say the 11th to the 25th for 2 weeks, and then we'll collect assuming the entries and then judge them at our January meeting and then award them their prize after the January meeting. Does that sound like something people are interested in?
That works.
Agreed.
Agree.
Okay, so any public comment? All right, so if a commissioner wants to try to put that in a form of a motion, or I can do it.
Why don't you do it, Alex?
Okay, I will move that we do participate in a holiday decorating contest and we will run the dates of December 11th to December 25th. And we will take entries via the Neighborhood Improvement Commission email, city email, or we will take hashtag Seaside Holiday House entries, and we will convene in January at our regularly scheduled first quarter meeting and go over the houses and pick a winner of the houses for the holiday decorating contest. I so move.
Second.
Okay, that goes to Dennis. Any other comments on the motion? Any comments from the public? Okay, Jackie, if you don't mind.
Alex Miller,
Yes.
Ramona Leda Reed,
Aye.
Ray Bennett,
Aye.
Dennis Alexander,
Yes.
Shonda LaBeouf,
Aye.
Veronica Velasco.
Aye.
Okay, that motion passes unanimously. And at this time, we have 2 Parks and Rec commissioners that are on the call. So I'm actually going to ask if we could possibly move up item H, which is proposal for collaboration between NIC and Parks and Recreation Committee. And if we could move item H between to hear the item next. Would there be any objections to that?
No.
I so move. If it takes a motion.
It's an agenda change. We're not adding an item to the agenda, so I don't think it needs I don't think it needs that. So, but is any okay? So let's go to that item then. Let's go to item. It's H on the agenda, and on the phone, I think is Franco and Diane. Are you guys on the call?
Yes.
I'm here.
Great. Nice to see both of you. I just moved up the item that we were going to hear you guys. So as I know, you guys have families and other places to be for tonight. So I know that Mr. Franco is the liaison for the Parks and Rec Commission for the Neighborhood Improvement Commission. And I was able to go to their last meeting and we talked about them possibly coming up with a proposal to come to the NIC to potentially get some funds for a park. And so I'll let Franco take it away. And then I believe Diane's on the call to talk about possible planting trees. So Franco will, if you want to go first, that would be great.
Sure. My name is Franco Pacheco. I'm very new to the Parks and Rec as of, I don't know, 8 months ago. On the work plan, I was assigned to liaise with you kind people. And I met with Alex a few times. So the Parks and Rec is actually having a meeting next week. I'm pretty sure, Diane, is that correct? A special meeting to further, in theory, we are supposed to have a special meeting to, in theory, talk about what we're going to recommend. I'll cross my fingers, I guess, and my toes. But beyond that, Alex and I had discussed, as well as we talked about in the Parks and Rec meeting, the park that is near the bridge you guys are discussing, which is, I forget the exact name off the top of my head. Alex, do you want to help me out?
It's Cunningham Park.
Thank you. It's the Lincoln Cunningham Park, the Cunningham side of it. If you've been there before, the Lincoln side looks not, I wouldn't say great, but as far as our parks go, looks pretty good. And then you kind of cross this bridge and it looks like completely different. The quality level is very, very different, very offset. Not a lot of landscaping, pretty blighted. I think blighted is the right word I'd use. So in talking to Alex, and hopefully when we meet with the neighborhood commission, one of the things we talked about is possibly improving Cunningham Park. And so hopefully that's what we'll bring to you once we've had our special meeting sometime in this lifetime.
I think that's in January 11th.
Oh, thank you. January 11th is when we meet. I apologize. So January 11th. I'm just so eager to get parks fixed that I'm jumping months ahead.
So just to refresh NIC members, our memory, when we were building the portal sign at the entrance by the Embassy Suites, that sign, we actually Ray went to the Parks and Rec Commission and used some funds from the Parks and Rec Commission for that sign at the tune of $40,000. So my hope, my expectation, or my thinking, I should say, is in that we could work with NIC now that we have some more funds. We could work with Parks and Rec and kind of, I would say, return the favor or work with them to give some to our parks and improving that neighborhood. So the park that Franco and I, since the Neighborhood Improvement Commission is working on the bridge, we thought that would be a good park to kind of work together on. And we could use the park for neighborhood improvements in that park.
Sounds good.
So Franco, was there any other part you wanted to add?
That's pretty much it. I know we had briefly discussed like small details, like hopefully like a wall ball court or some turfing. Because right now it's dirt with not a lot of landscaping. I know Diane's gonna talk a little about planting trees, which is really important. That's also an area that would benefit from that because it's pretty blight. That's it for me.
Franco, was that a cow that was walking behind you?
No, that's a dog.
It looked
She was
like a
supposed to
whole
stay off the couch, but she was so excited about Cunningham Park and the work we're going to do together that she had to get in the shot.
It looked like a Holstein cow or something.
No, I'm sorry. My dog was interested.
I love dogs. That's cool. All right. Thank you.
So I guess, Franco, the next move with you then is we're going to hear back after your January 11th meeting. You guys are going to talk about a proposal and then come back to us.
Yes, in theory, when we left the Parks and Rec meeting, we were all considering, and then we'll bring our ideas to each other and move forward with the recommendation. Or I guess similar to you're doing, we'll talk about what we want to do, and then we'll get back to you and say, all right, Mr. Miller and the fine people of the NIC, this is the collaboration we'd like to go forward with.
So would it be wise, Franco, for us to have our meeting actually then the second Tuesday of January so that we would actually be one day after that and we would be able to obtain that information from you on the 11th?
Yeah, I thought that was the gist of it. That way we can get it decided, that we can bring it. I'll bring it to you on the 11th or the day after.
The day after. Yeah. So that would be a better idea. Then we can obtain what your proposal or what you guys' suggestion is.
Yeah. That'd be a beautiful work of symmetry and
got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you very much. Any questions for Franco from the commission?
I just need clarification on Lincoln Cunningham Park. As you're going up San Pablo, it's on your right-hand side of the bridge or the left-hand side of the bridge as you're going up San Pablo?
So you're going up
San Pablo. Which one are you trying to improve?
The one on the left-hand side that is just a ton of dirt and nothing else. I think there might be a couple of structures.
I haven't seen all the parks, so I'm sorry. I have to tour them.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Sorry we had you so far down our agenda. You had to sit and listen to the other topics. So hopefully.
No, thank you for having me. And it's really fun to watch, get a different experience in a commission and see how you guys move forward. It's inspiring.
Great. We wish you the best of luck on the Parks and Rec. Thank you.
Thanks, Park and Rec.
Okay. And now up next is another Parks and Rec commissioner. And we appreciate her service to the city. And thank you for coming and talking with us today, Diane Nilsson. And we're happy to hear anything that you have to say.
Yes, thank you very much for putting us on the agenda tonight and being interested in what we're doing. I am in charge of more or less the tree planting project that's in our 2021 work plan proposal. And we're hoping to plant 15 trees in local parks, or neighborhood parks, I should say, that are chosen because they're natives, hopefully all natives, makes them successful and beneficial to the wildlife, and that are attractive in our parks. And some of the trees are coast live oak, California redbud, possibly cypress, and then tree-like shrubs, for instance, like flannel bush, Fremontodendron, Monterey ceanothus, and maybe some taller type manzanitas that are tree-like, which would be really nice around here. I've scoped out some locations where a water truck already goes, supposedly on a regular basis, and some people have suggested that since some of these parks already have stewards, that we plant trees there, like Havana Solis Park, Lincoln Cunningham, which Franco is talking about, which is great to team up on that particular park. That park's high on my radar too. And they do have some pollinator plants there. So there's somebody kind of taking care of those, and maybe they would water a few trees as well. Capra Park, Martin Park, which I don't know much about, but is a very nice looking little park. Highland Otis and possibly Trinity. So looking at the trees, I'm approximating they're like $3,000 for 15 trees. And then having the possible tree ladders to water them with, another $400. Anyhow, we're looking at about $3,600, $4,000, somewhere in there. And the way this would be cared for and be successful is, again, they're on the truck route, the city water truck route. And the stewards there could receive that water and put it into the bladders or water the trees. And let's see, what else? So until they're established, we would have that system in place. And since they are natives, they would have a high rate of success. And they would definitely beautify our parks a lot and fulfill our, help begin to fulfill our Tree City USA obligation. And I really appreciate this time, and anything that you might be able to do in the way of helping us financially support this project would be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Any commissioners have any comments or questions?
Yes, Alex, I just want to say that I think it may take some more discussion on our part, what we want to do at some meeting. I know it's not agendized for tonight, but I just want to tell Diane, I think it's a great idea. Anything we can plant now that will take carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere is all good by me. Especially if we can have trees that will do that.
Okay. Thank you, Dennis. Anybody else?
I just wanted to ask, you're looking over to Nick for financial help, or just volunteer to when this happens, or how are you looking at us and what scope?
Financial support and any suggestions you have of areas that you feel could benefit from what couldn't benefit from a tree, but if you know a park that needs trees.
Okay,
Anybody else?
thank you, Diane.
Alex, may I ask another question again?
Yes, please.
Diane, the financial, I guess, obligation, is that in the cost of the trees themselves, or is there something, I'm not sure I caught that.
There is the cost of the trees and any materials that we might need to plant the trees and to water them, like watering, like tree gators, you know, those water bladders that slowly release water over a period of time,
Right.
like 9 or 10 hours or something, rather than somebody standing there and hand watering them from the water truck.
Right. I think if we investigated, we can maybe get the trees donated. I think there's just got to be a nursery of some type out there that would be willing to donate, especially for this kind of cause. You know, just look a little bit.
Good idea. Yeah,
It's a good
definitely
idea.
love that.
Mr. Maury at Seaside Nursery is usually very willing to help out, so he might be someone to talk with.
I have talked to him and I've actually contacted a number of organizations and like Sustainable Seaside. I'm waiting for a response, but I spoke with Mr. Maury, and he is going to look at some of the locations and the tree suggestions and suggest more. So he is aware of this, and I'll probably be giving him a call at the beginning of the week. But that's a good idea.
Any other comments? So it sounds like we then are in line to accept a proposal next meeting from Franco with the Neighborhood Improvement Commission, from the Parks and Rec Commission, either accept or consider a proposal. And we'll also include planting of trees into that agenda item. Is that what the commission wishes to do? Or
Yes.
if the commission wishes to proceed another way, please let me know.
No, I think we should wait for the comments and see how we can help them out.
Okay. So then we will put you guys back onto our next agenda, and we will put you guys on for our January agenda for first quarter of 2021. And we'll include the trees and also include the information that Franco is going to obtain when you guys meet. Is that fair? Great. Diane, is that fair?
Oh, yes. Sounds
Okay. All right. So we will thank you for that. We will consider all of this, and we will put in for our next agenda.
Wow.
Okay. Thank you guys for your work on the Parks and Rec. We really appreciate you coming to speak with us. Have a good night. Okay, next we will move on to item, this is going to be item F listed on the agenda, and that is to put holiday lights in the trees on Broadway. And we've gotten a lot of public support for this, and people are extremely interested in us kind of overtaking this. So at this time, we can have a discussion about it. I did get one public comment about it, and the public comment, the public comment says, definitely, exclamation mark, but not just lower Broadway. We have lots of trees heading up Broadway towards General Jim Moore Avenue. Brenda Thomas. So I guess maybe we could ask Mr. Little or Jackie how we could proceed with this. Is it even possible to put lights down on Broadway, or how can we start the process of exploring that?
So I think that would be something to discuss with maybe Gloria. That sounds like something that would be kind of in her realm. I think it was discussed at one time. I don't know that there's any electricity out there, so I don't know if we'd be talking about something that's battery or that works maybe on a photo cell where something comes on when it's dark, and I'm not sure, but those things would have to be, maybe I just need to know more details about it.
Christmas lights.
Yep. The comment that I got from Gloria was, please remember to check with the city engineer about the possibility of Broadway lights. I'm not sure each tree has electrical. There may be electrical just at the first few trees of each corner. Maybe email Nisha Patel and Leslie Lantiero to verify if you haven't already done so. Solar may be an option, but only for the north side of the street. South side is in the shade much of the day. I won't be on Zoom for this topic. So that's what she said. We would need more information, just like Mr. Little said. So do we, I'm not sure how to proceed with this one, but I'd like to get this one done sooner than later because it's going to look really nice down there when we do it. So how does the commission want to proceed?
Alex?
Yes.
I don't know if we're just going to do holiday lights. I would think it was going to be lights all year round, wasn't it?
Correct.
Okay, so
not holiday.
Like white lights, like white string lights
Yeah.
on the trees,
yes,
like they do in
like Colorado.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I guess we need to see if electricity is available and where it's available, how much it would cost to put the electricity in if we have to do that. Hopefully we won't, and how much the lights will cost. So where can we get that information? Who could provide that information to us?
The city engineer, probably.
Yeah. Can we go directly to the engineer, Mr. Little? And can we go to her and find out which ones are electric, solar can go work for us? Solar would be good too.
Yeah. So what I was going to ask for is if Alex could send that information to me, that maybe his conversation with Gloria, then I can go ahead and I can reach out to Nisha tomorrow. He just there was more information there that I didn't realize that he had already talked to Gloria and she'd kind of answered some of those questions. But yeah, I can reach out to the engineer directly.
The email was sent to me because she saw it on the agenda tonight and we didn't have a discussion about it. Gloria saw it on our agenda and wrote me that message. So
okay.
Yeah, I forwarded it to you right now and you should have that. But so I guess we'll try to move forward with more information on that for next time.
So it's unlikely that it'll go up at Christmas. It'll probably go up in January. I mean, we'll miss the Christmas season, holiday season, I mean.
Right. But what I can come back with is the information that Nisha provides. We can find out a little bit more about the electricity on the out there and maybe come up with some ideas or if you have some ideas as to maybe what types of lights. We'd want something that would be able to withstand the elements, that there's going to be some sunshine and some other things that can cause electrical wires to deteriorate. So I would anticipate that it would need to be something that's relatively durable to be
Okay, did we lose you there?
Yeah, I think we lost him.
Okay. Well, we haven't officially made a motion on this item through my notes that I've seen. So I think tonight we should make a motion to study this item and explore the cost with how much this might cost for a final approval at our next January 11th or next meeting in January.
Second.
Does someone need to put that in the form of a motion?
Yes, please.
Oh, I thought you already did.
Just saying what I think.
I so moved.
Okay. There's a first.
I'll second.
And a second by Dennis. Was there any public comment? Okay, so the motion is to explore the option, to move forward on exploring the option of putting lights in the tree. And we'll take the roll call vote, please, Jackie.
Alex Miller,
Yes.
Ramona Leda Reed,
Yes.
Ray Bennett,
Aye.
Dennis Alexander,
Dennis.
Yes, I was on mute. I'm sorry.
Shonda LaBeouf,
Yes.
Veronica Velasco.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes unanimously. So, Mr. Little, we are going to move forward. If you can hear me, I think the commission is excited to move forward on putting the lights in the tree. So if I will forward you that email, and then if we could reach the city engineer and figure out what the next step is in figuring that out. We would really appreciate that. Okay. Thank you. The next, we're almost done. We have 2 more topics. The next one is item G on the agenda, and that is discussion regarding the San Pablo Bridge project. And I'll just announce briefly, we won't talk too much about this, but I will announce briefly that we had 2 meetings as a subcommittee. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but in our last meeting, we picked 3 commission members and 2 members from the public. I think a member from the public is on the conversation tonight. We met twice as a subcommittee. We've talked about all kinds of different options, putting lights on the bridge, putting lights underneath the bridge, or doing something. We also talked about possibly getting a scholarship or a funding from the Arts Council, but we're not sure if that's still active yet. But the last thing I want to say is that Ramona and I met with the guy that drew the whale at the reef. So he drew the whale at the reef, and we met with him, and he's going to try to come up with a proposal of what we could do with the bridge. So I do want to open it up. If Lisa Answani, if you're on the call and you want to make a public comment, she is on the subcommittee for the bridge. Now would be a good time. That's okay. Oh, there she is.
No need for public comment. Thanks for all you do, all of you.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you too. So the bridge is going to be a lengthy project. It is going to be a lengthy project for us to accomplish it. We are working with different artists. Ramona, did you want to talk about the bridge since you're on the subcommittee, or does any other subcommittee member want to speak on the bridge?
I wanted to add one thing. We were talking about LED lighting. I mean, even the city manager was all for that as well. And we talked about it to Hani Panini, Hani is the gentleman that does all the artwork. And we talked about LED lighting, but I guess we shouldn't be too aggressive with that lighting, because the neighbors probably would complain. Oh, I hear the lights are on all the time. I can just hear it now. So we better be careful about that, but that's something we can discuss in our subcommittee. You know how neighbors get. Something I wanted to bring up.
Okay. Shonda, do you have any comments?
No. Today, Derek and I were driving, and we passed under it, and did we ever discuss, again, the memory here, did we ever discuss how structurally sound it was?
I believe that part we're not getting into. We're just getting into painting it or doing something.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Because
That's
we
no
get into
problem.
problems with other structural problems if we start talking about.
We
Is that
just
right?
have to beautify.
Yes.
Okay, no, I'm all about the beautification. No, I'm still, excuse me. I'm still about my ideas and everything. When you talked to the guy who did the whale, was he going to incorporate our ideas that we talked about?
Yes. Yes. And our ideas were doing a sunset picture on one side, and on the other side having a brief message, or having the city logo with a couple of other iconic spots of the city.
Right, right.
Yes.
Groovy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion on the bridge?
Alex, if I could, I'd like to just mention something about it.
Please.
Okay, so I did talk to Nisha, our city engineer, about the footbridge there, and we have Caltrans does structural inspections of bridges that have to do with roadways and stuff. And on that particular bridge, they recommended that they didn't want to look at it because there's no vehicle. They suggested that the city have it looked at structurally. Nisha was in the process of trying to get a grant to do some upgrades to it, which could involve some structural upgrades. It could involve actually removing it and redoing it so it meets ADA compliance. And her suggestion, the city engineer's suggestion to me, was to, if NIC can hold off a little bit and not dedicate too much money to it, because it may be changing in the near future. I'll probably know more about this before our next meeting, but I wanted to just relay that information to you.
Thank you. We appreciate that. That's good. That means we should hold off on this until till our next meeting.
At the least.
At the least. Yep. Okay. Any other comments on that one, on that agenda item?
We need a motion to table this item till the next meeting or beyond.
No. Not taking an action on it. Okay. Next, we will move on to agenda item I, that's on the original agenda. That's update and discussion of the PG&E fence. And I will give a brief update, and I'll make it short. I am in, the lady contacted me and responded to me. Her name is Jenna Arnold. And she wrote to me in an email that said that they are diligently working on solutions for that fence. In my quest for solutions, I learned that property used to house a substation and required fencing. The substation equipment was removed at some point, and what is left in there does not require fencing. I am looking to have the fencing completely removed. I will likely not have plans to remove the fencing confirmed by next week. So that was the last, that email is dated September 24th. That's the last communication I had, but I just wanted the commission to know that we're still trying to work on that PG&E fence. And we hope that it's possible that they don't even need the fence and that they're going to remove the whole thing. That was my update. Was there any comments on that?
No, but I think that will need later on, maybe that's some place where we should put trees. I noticed every time I go by Del Monte Manor, they're making vast improvements on that project there, and they have put up trees along the fence. They fenced it in with this nice iron fence, and then they put trees maybe every 6 feet. And I was thinking the same for that PG&E lot. I don't know what's in there, but I mean, just to have an empty, ugly lot is, again, just another blight, in my opinion.
Well, PG&E would have, if they remove the fence, they would have to do something to beautify the area. So we will continue the conversation with them. Any other comments?
Okay.
All right, we will move on to our last agenda item. That's item J, and that is Neighborhood Watch update and discussion. And I just received a message from Veronica that she had to leave. She's our Neighborhood Watch extraordinaire. She just left, which is kind of a bummer, but it's okay. The city, David Little, thank you very much. You ordered some magnets for us, and maybe you could give us a brief statement about how many magnets we might have and how we might disperse them, and also if we have any Neighborhood Watch signs that are left, or if where we're at with the Neighborhood Watch stuff. Could you speak on that for a brief second, Mr. Little?
Sure. So on the magnets, you know what? I've left the office, and I don't know if we got 500 or 1,000. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to double check. But we do have plenty of magnets, the refrigerator magnets for the Neighborhood Watch, and we also do have some additional signs. Dave Fortune set some signs aside, and so we have, I'd have to check with him to see how many we have, but I would say, if I was guessing, we probably have between maybe 20 to 40.
Wow.
Somewhere in there.
Great, thank you. And so I guess we also want to discuss if we want to hold a virtual meeting. Does the NIC want to hold a virtual meeting for the Neighborhood Watch? We could do that sometime next year. Do we want to send out an email for the Neighborhood Watch? Or, you know, COVID has kind of changed a lot of things. So do we want to postpone the Neighborhood Watch, or do we want to, what is the will of the commission?
I think because of COVID, we would have to postpone that. I can't see us all gathering at the Oldemeyer or anywhere else.
Well, I mean, doing it online.
Oh, I don't. Yeah. Then I don't know. You mean getting the neighborhood people online?
Doing a meeting online was brought to my attention, or just sending out an email that says Merry Christmas. You know, if you want a Neighborhood Watch sign or sticker, contact us.
Yeah. I think that sounds good, Alex.
Okay. So that's an action. So we'll make an action to send a group Neighborhood Watch email that, and we will include the stickers, the magnets, and we will also use email addresses on our that have been acquired through our email list, and we will send a Christmas email to everybody. So I just want to make sure that the entire commission agrees on that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Since this is an action, Ramona, could you make a motion? Or somebody?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Okay, first, is there a second?
Second.
Any public comment? Okay, so the motion is to send a NIC email from the NIC email address regarding the Neighborhood Watch. So Jackie, last time.
Alex Miller,
Yes.
Ramona Leda Reed,
Yes.
Roy Bennett,
Aye.
Dennis Alexander,
Yes.
Shonda LaBeouf,
Yes.
and Veronica Velasco.
Okay, that passes 5 yeses, 1 absent. And next we will move on to item 8, and that is commissioner reports. So if any commissioner has anything they want to say about our next agenda, or they want to add anything to our agenda for next meeting, or have any general comments, now's the time to do so.
Well, in my bind-
Was there no reports from staff?
Oh, I'm so sorry. You're right. It's number 7, reports from staff. I'm sorry, Ray. Go ahead, Mr. Little.
No reports, Alex.
Thank you. Jackie,
I have no report. Thank you.
thank you. Now we'll move on to item 8, and that is commissioner reports.
I'll start if you, okay. Just want to mention that I participated in nearly all, at least since the summer, of the food distributions at City Hall that Dan Mewes is kind of put together the food bank on behalf of and I know Alex, you've been there at a couple. They've been very successful, I guess, for not good reasons. The lines are very long. People needing food at these times, but anyway, the city has done a wonderful job, and you know, commissioners have shown up to help distribute the food, and you know, the city is doing a very good job on that end too, on behalf of the community.
Okay, thank you. Anybody next?
I have no comments.
I'll go next.
Okay, Ray.
I just hope everyone's enjoyed the giant floating head over Big Sur.
It's lovely.
Figured it was Big
Very
Sir Gary
comfortable.
Potter or something. Stop it.
I just wanted everyone to know that this is my last meeting, so I'll be resigning from the commission at the end of, effective the end of the year. I've enjoyed it. Thanks everyone for your support.
Bummer.
Aw.
Miss you. I'll miss you, Ray.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All good things have to come to an end. It's unfortunate. Thank you for your service, Ray.
Yes, thank you, Ray.
Well, I'll just mention that we had with my Seaside Posse, we had the coat and blanket drive. That Lanny Olise had put a call out with Dr. Ayman Adib, and actually, and so on my Seaside Posse, he put a call out for warm weather coats and blankets. And so a bunch of basically the posse got together, and our community came through with coats and warm blankets, and lots of people gave what they could, and even brand new blankets and coats from Kohl's and Target, and even Mr. Alex Miller and Lisa Swanee and Dr. Adib and Lanny. They got in their cars and they distributed coats and blankets to those in need. I was working the phones with my friend to drum up some people who could deliver, because I was in quarantine from my trip, so I couldn't go out. But I was the city, our community came through for people who really needed it, for the homeless and those who were who didn't have shelter on our streets. So how many coats do you know, Alex, and blankets?
No, I don't know. I think it was over 50, and I think we helped over 30 people, something like that. But we'll ask Lanny. Thank you.
Yeah, it was really special.
Great. Thank you very much for mentioning that. Anybody else? Okay, I will just wish everybody a really Merry Christmas. We all made it through 2020. Congratulations. That was a tough year for all of us. It was a tough year for the NIC, and it was a
Yeah.
tough year for the city, and we made it through it. So we're going to meet next in January, and I hope everybody's okay with us meeting on January 12th, so that we could accommodate the NIC, and it's a week after the New Year's. Is everybody okay with that?
January 12th.
January 12th at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, okay, sure. Sounds good. Sounds good here in December.
Yep. January 12th on Tuesday. So wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. Please stay safe. Contact me if you need anything. And we'll move to item 9, adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
I second.
First and a second, public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you guys very much. Have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Thank
Jackie.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Ray.
you.
You guys,
Take
thank you.
care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Frank.
Bye.
Bye.
How do I get off this?